Have you ever heard of something that could fight climate change, make our farms more productive, and was discovered in the ancient soils of the Amazon? Well, let's talk about biochar. It's this amazing material with incredibly deep roots that modern science is now rediscovering to solve some of our biggest problems today.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll nail down what biochar actually is. Then we'll get into the science of how it's made, a process called pyrolysis. After that, we'll explore its amazing benefits for soil and our climate. And then, get ready for a really unexpected application. We'll wrap up with some practical ways to use it and what it all means for the future of carbon.
All right, so what exactly is this stuff? To really get it, we have to travel back in time, deep into the Amazon rainforest.
Yeah, it all starts with this fascinating historical mystery. Archaeologists in the Amazon found these huge patches of soil that were incredibly dark and super fertile. They called it terra preta, which just means black earth, and it was obvious that people had made it centuries ago. The secret ingredient that kept it so rich for so long, you guessed it, charcoal.
So that ancient practice is what inspired modern biochar. At its heart, it's a very specific kind of charcoal made from plants and other biomass. But here's the key difference. It's not made for burning. It's engineered to go back into the soil to build a lasting foundation for life.
Okay, so if it isn't just regular charcoal from a campfire, how is it made? Well, the magic is in a process called pyrolysis, and that's what we're going to break down next.
Think about it like this. If you burn a log in a fire, you've got tons of oxygen, and you end up with heat and a little bit of ash. But with pyrolysis, you bake that same organic material at really high temperatures without a lot of oxygen. So instead of combusting, it just transforms. All of its carbon gets locked into this incredibly stable, porous structure. That's pyrolysis in a nutshell. And this isn't just something that happens in a high-tech lab. Pyrolysis technology can be scaled way up or way down. You've got these massive processing plants for cities, but you also have units that can be mounted on a truck and driven right out to a farm to make biochar on site.
Now, how you make it is so important because it completely changes the final product. Just look at the temperature. You can tweak it to get wildly different results. A higher temperature creates a material with a truly massive internal surface area. We're talking 460 square meters in a single gram. It's like a microscopic super sponge, and that structure is the key to everything it can do.
Okay, so we know what it is, and we know how it's made. But the real question is, why should we care? This is where biochar stops being just interesting science and starts looking like a real game changer for farming and for the planet. You know, the list of benefits for soil is just immense. When you add biochar, you're not just adding carbon. You're fundamentally improving the physical structure of the soil itself. It helps the soil hold onto water, it makes nutrients more available for plants, and it can even stop expensive fertilizers from just washing away into our rivers.
So how does it pull all this off? Well, remember that crazy high surface area we were just talking about? It doesn't stay empty for long. It becomes this perfect 5-star hotel for all the good bacteria and fungus in the soil. These microbes are basically the engines of a healthy soil ecosystem, and biochar gives them the ultimate place to live and work.
And here it is, the huge climate benefit. Normally, when a plant dies and decomposes, its carbon goes right back into the atmosphere as CO2. But pyrolysis transforms that carbon into a super stable or biologically inert form. So when you put that biochar in the soil, you are literally taking carbon out of the short-term cycle and locking it away for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. That's a real path to negative emissions.
Now, just when you think you've got biochar figured out, okay, it's for soil, it's for the climate. The story takes this completely unexpected turn, from the ground we walk on to, believe it or not, the inside of our farm animals.
I know, it sounds a little wild, right? But that's exactly what researchers started asking. They thought, hey, what if we took this super porous, micro-friendly stuff and added it to animal feed instead of soil?
And the results were just incredible. One study found that adding a little bit of biochar to cattle feed boosted their live weight gain by a whopping 25%. I mean, for a farmer, that is a massive increase in productivity from one simple, natural additive.
But wait, it gets even better. We all know that cattle produce a lot of methane, which is a really potent greenhouse gas. Well, that same study found that biochar by itself cut methane emissions by 22%. And when they combined it with another supplement, that number jumped to an incredible 41% reduction. Isn't that amazing?
So what is going on here? This is the aha moment. It's that same porous structure again.
The exact same property that makes a great home for microbes in the soil also creates a healthier environment inside an animal's gut. It improves how they absorb nutrients and actually changes the microbial processes that make methane in the first place. It's one principle leading to two totally different, powerful solutions.
This all sounds fantastic in theory, but how do people actually get it to work? Let's dive into some practical tips.
A really common way to use it is to charge it first by mixing it with a nutrient source, like manure. Here's a simple recipe from one of the papers. You take some poultry manure, let it dry out, then mix it with biochar, about 1 part manure to 3 parts biochar. Then you just let that compost for about 6 weeks. What you end up with is a super-powered soil amendment, just loaded with nutrients and microbes ready to go.
And its versatility is just awesome. Farmers and gardeners are using it to help seeds germinate better, to speed up their compost piles, and to make their fertilizers go further. It's really becoming this key tool for anyone looking to use fewer synthetic chemicals and build healthier, more resilient systems.
So let's zoom out for a second and just take a look at the big picture. What does all of this really mean for our future?
When it comes down to it, biochar isn't some futuristic, untested gimmick. It's really a bridge connecting ancient knowledge with our modern challenges. It's about taking the wisdom of those first Amazonian farmers and applying it to problems they never could have imagined, like global soil degradation and climate change.
It's really just a simple black powder made from what we consider waste, but it creates this cascade of benefits for our soil, our food, and our climate. It really makes you think. As we're all out here searching for complex, high-tech solutions, could it be that one of the most powerful keys to a sustainable future has been right here, buried in the earth all along?